So this lesson we're looking at tree diagrams part 2. This time we've got a bag of balls. In this bag we've got 3 red ones, 2 green ones and 2 blue. Now my question to you is, if we take a ball out, the colour we note down and then replace it, and then we take another ball out, again we look at the colour. I want to know what the probability is of pulling out 2 red balls and then a green and a blue ball, but in any order. So the probability tree for this one looks a little bit like this. Now it does look a little bit fussy and a bit confusing. Ignore this bit for the moment. So here we go, our first draw. We've got a red, a green and a blue ball. And out of the 7 balls in the bag, 3 of them are red. So my probability for pulling out a red ball is going to be 3/7. 2 of the balls are green, so the probability of pulling out a green ball is going to be 2/7. And the probability of pulling out a blue ball, again there are 2 balls in the bag of 7, so that's going to be 2/7 as well. Now remember, we put the ball back after we've noted its colour. So when we come to do the second draw, we still have 7 balls in the bag. So again, for each one, the probabilities remain unchanged. So they're the same as the first draw. So what I've put here, this horrible looking thing here. Now what that's about is when we're looking at tree diagrams and we want to say, for example, find out what the probability is of finding a red and then another red. Remember that key word is the and if it's and, we multiply. So what I've done is I've written down all the possible probabilities here and I've actually worked them out. So I've done red, red, so that's 3/7 times 3/7, which gives me 9/49. For example, here I've done green, green, which is 2/7 times 2/7, which is 4/49. Now one of the things to remember about probability is that it's best not to cancel until you get right to the very end. Mainly because, remember, when we're adding fractions, which we're going to have to do in a minute, you have to have the same denominator. So don't cancel fractions out until you get to the end, because it just makes doing the arithmetic that bit easier. So my questions were, what's the probability of pulling out 2 red balls one after the other? Well, here we go. On the first draw it's 3/7, we put it back, probability is the same pulling it out on the second one, so that's 3/7. So in total, my probability of pulling out a red ball followed by a red ball is going to be 9/49. Now, the next one I said was a green and blue ball, but it could be in any order. So I could have green followed by blue, or I could have blue followed by green. Now, remember the key word there was or. If it's or, we're going to add the probabilities together. So we're going to have probability of green blue plus the probability of blue green. So we've worked them all out up here. It's 4/49 plus 4/49, which equals 8/49. Obviously I chose a silly number at the bottom, so it doesn't cancel. But if it did, obviously you would make sure that you did put that in its lowest terms.